Hi everyone, my name is Colin Ravenscroft and I work on the Design for Service and Repair team here at Microsoft. We're super excited to be offering spare parts to keep you up and running on your favorite controller, and today I'm going to be running through the repair process on our Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. I'm going to be doing a full teardown and reassembly for you here, but a complete set of written instructions will also be available in our service guides posted up on the Xbox support site found on support.xbox.com. Now, you're going to need a couple simple tools to complete the repairs on your controller. First off, you're going to need a plastic pry tool and a TR8 Torx security screwdriver, also sometimes called a Torx tamper-proof bit, to get into the device. After that, a standard T6 Torx screwdriver will get you the rest of the way, though a pair of tweezers will be helpful. Okay, we're going to get started now. So first off, we're going to remove the top case, and to do that, we'll take off both of our thumbsticks and the D-pad. Insert the plastic pry tool in here. This does require a bit of force. Always push away from your body and your hands to avoid hurting yourself if you do slip. Now that we have the top case off, we are going to start removing screws to remove the back case. So this is your TR8 bit. We have 6 screws to remove here. And the last screw here will be under this white sticker, so you can just punch through that. Lift the mid-frame out of the bottom case. So now if you're going to be replacing your battery, we're going to work on the bottom case, and if you're working on anything else, you'll be working on this assembly here. So we'll go to the battery now. Set the bottom case on the table and remove the 4 screws here on the battery lid. And without touching the surface of the battery, pull it up and out. The battery does not have a hard shell on the top surface with the writing on it, so you should be careful to only handle it by the sides to prevent any damage to the battery. See the step-by-step guides for instructions on proper disposal for the battery. Please don't just throw it in the trash. For the battery, we'll be using a T6 driver to remove our 4 screws here. So here, we're only touching by the sides and lifting the battery up and out. Our battery contacts may also come out at the same time. Put those to the side. So now that we have the old battery out, we'll assemble the new battery. Remember, anytime you take your battery out, you should be assembling a new one. Be careful again to only touch the sides. And once the battery is in, we'll assemble the battery spring contacts here, and they just slide right in. After that, we'll reassemble the top case. Now for the rest of the controller, now the battery is replaced. We're gonna tear down the whole thing and reassemble. Again, the service guides will have detailed steps on which component you exactly need to replace. Here, we're just gonna do the whole thing. We'll start off here by removing the bumpers. Next step, to remove the bumper, there's a little clasp here that you want to push out while you're pulling the bumper out. Next step here is to remove the thumbsticks, and these do require a little bit of force. So go ahead and take one of your thumbstick pads here, put it on, and twist until they come off. Next, we're going to flip the controller over. We're going to remove the main PCBA, and to do that, we'll remove the 2 screws here. Next, we'll remove the rumble motors from the triggers. To do that, there's one screw on each, and the trigger caps will come off. Flip the controller over, and we're going to start taking the wires out. Careful when you're flipping the controller back over once the motors are removed. We will pull the main rumble motors out here as well. The last thing before we pull the PCBA out is to disconnect the coax connectors here. And then pull up on the board to disengage the connector and pick up by the motors to avoid stressing the wires. Last thing we will do is to remove the I/O PCBA, which includes all of your buttons here. And if you turn over, all of your buttons will just fall right out. At this point, we've disassembled the entire controller, so we're ready to reassemble now. As you're reassembling the buttons, they will only go back in the location that they are meant for, so don't worry too much about putting them in the wrong spot. The buttons will fall out easily during reassembly, so make sure to keep everything in this orientation until you have your I/O PCBA back in to hold them in place. We're just going to lightly set all of this in place. Next step is going to be reinstalling the main PCBA. To do that, we need to have the audio jack in place, and that's going to sit in this housing, and it'll find its home there, but it will fall out, so make sure it's in place as you're reinstalling here. Again, be very careful about the motors. Press down in the center to reconnect the connector and make sure your audio jack is in place. Next, we're going to route the trigger motors. To do that, we'll flip the controller back over, again being careful to control the motors. These have a little pocket to sit in the trigger, and the wires are going to go towards the center of the controller. Grab your trigger. There's a little hook right here that's going to hook into this slot, and then the trigger cap will rotate down. We'll flip back over one more time to get a screw in. Now we're going to route the trigger motor wires. So we need a certain amount of slack so that it doesn't bind up when you pull the trigger. So to get started, pull the trigger all the way down. Give yourself a little bit of slack here and start routing under the existing little clips. Just going to work your way down from the motor. This is the last one here. And you should have a bit of free length here. And when you pull the trigger, this wire shouldn't be tight here. It should be nice and loose. In order to route the trigger wire the rest of the way, we're going to need to remove the retaining clip on the D-pad. To do that, just push the D-pad retaining clip down a little bit. Come in here with your plastic tool, grab the bottom of it, and we're just going to move that out of the way and pull it straight out. Again, we'll pull the trigger to give ourselves a little bit of slack, and we'll start routing through the clips. Your plastic pry tool here will help you get the wires under those clips. And again, should have a bit of slack there, and a bit of slack when you're at full pull on the trigger. Next, we'll put our D-pad retainer back in. Next, we'll reinstall the thumbstick domes with the thumbstick caps, and you'll just twist those right on. Next, we'll install our shoulder buttons. And make sure to squeeze the triggers as you install those. And then our center cap here, these all just snap right in. Again, squeeze the triggers as we're installing into the bottom case. Make sure that they pull without any issue here. We'll go back to our larger TR8 screws to assemble. Next, we'll install the faceplate. This is just going to snap right in place. Lastly will be your thumbsticks and your D-pad. And that'll be it. Charge up and jump right back in with your freshly repaired controller.